Welcome to OpenMentor.net. In this session we are going to talk about Java, the access modifiers which are private, protected, public. So we need to have a clear understanding of how these public, private, protected access modifiers work, because they are the one which provide the ultimate information hiding process. Let us look at these two classes. Class 1, it has got three attributes: C1 underscore public. C1 is the prefix for class 1. Again, it's just for the namesake I have given that you can have any variable name, just to make sure that you understand the variable name or attribute name and then associate with the class name. This is public, this is private, this is protected. So what I have done is I have created three public methods to set the individual attributes to 100, 200 and 300 in class 1. So if you look here, C1 underscore public, since it is public, it is available to any other class outside this class. This C1 underscore private, this is private, this is available only within this class. This protected is available in class as well as its child classes. Let us see how it works. Now I have got another class, class 2, extends class 1. We have already seen extends is the inheritance. So it's class 2 inherits all the attributes and methods of class 1. Now what I am trying to do here, since it is inheriting class 1, these three attributes C1 underscore pub, private and protected are all available in this class also. Now I am setting in this class 2 as 1000, 2000 and 3000. But look here, since this C1 underscore public is a public attribute, this can be set here or this can be set in class 2 also. Whereas this private will have a problem. Private can be done only within this class. Even the child class cannot do that. The third thing is the protected. If it is a child class, the protected will be allowed. Let us compile this and then see what happens. Once I compile, it very clearly says C1 underscore private has a private access in class 1. So when I try to access this, it is giving me a problem. It is giving me a problem only on the private variables. It has not given me a problem in public because it is open to all. Protected is available within the subclass or the child class, so it doesn't have a problem. Whereas the private is giving me a problem. So the clear difference of private is I am trying to access the private in this class. So it is giving me a problem here. So I cannot do this. This is not allowed, so I am just commenting it. Now same way, I cannot do this either. Anywhere it is mentioned as private, you cannot access outside the class. So I have to comment this also. So even in a child class or a subclass or a derived class, you have no access of the private attributes. So that is very clear. Public, you have access in this class, you can have access in the child class, you can have access in any class. So now let me try to compile it again. So I commented wherever I am illegally accessing the private attributes. Now when I do this, set private, okay, this is also a problem. So since I have commented this, so I have to comment the caller also. So you cannot access that. Now this compiles clean without any issues. Now public is clear, private can be accessed only within that class, not even in subclass. But how does it allow the protected attributes? Protected means it can be accessed within the class. So class 1 can access the protected attribute. Child class can also access the protected attribute. So no harm. So you can access the protected attributes in the class, in the child class. So this is fine. So class 1 accessing c1 underscore prot is fine. Class 2 accessing c1 underscore prot is fine because class 2 is subclass of class 1. So they can access. But how come Java 14 is a different class? In Java 14, I am accessing the protected attributes. This is called a default. Since all these classes are in the same file, this is going to the default. All these three classes are assumed to be under the same default package. So protected variables or attributes can be accessed across the package. Okay, so now let me document this. Public access in class, subclass, any class, whereas private access in class only. You cannot access it outside. No child class, no package. So it can be accessed only within that class. Protected, it can be accessed in class, in subclass. But if you look here, Java 14 is not a child of class 1 or class 2. It is a totally different class. But since all these three things are in the same file, allowed in the default package, and it cannot be accessed outside. No outside class. So as long as it's within the package, it is allowed. If I am using it in a different package, this c1.prot cannot be accessed. Let us try to execute this. Now I compile this once again. Let me say Java 14. So we are from the main class. I am able to access c1 underscore pub, protected, public, and protected. So no issues in that. Okay. So if you look at the way it is getting executed, previously it didn't allow any private attributes to be accessed outside the class. Child class cannot access. Here the public is accessed, protected is accessed in the main class. Public is accessed and the protected is accessed in the subclass also. Not a problem. Now what I'm going to do is I'm trying to access this protected variable outside the package. Let us see what happens. Will it allow or not? Let us see that. Now look at this example. What I have done is, previously what was there in class 1 and class 2, I have taken them out of the main file. I have placed them under the package pack1. So class 1 is under class1.java file. It is placed as package pack1. The same coding, the same variables I have used. C1 are the attributes public, private, and protected. And class 2 is also under package 1. So class, it extends class 1. So class 1 and class 2, instead of being in this file, what I have done is I have separated them out to different package pack1. Now I am going to compile this. Java C class 1.java. I compile this. I compile class 2.java. Now it says class 2 extends class 1. Let us see what is giving the trouble over here. Now it says C2 class 2 extends class 1. It says unable to find the symbol, cannot find symbol. Why is that? Because if you look at the previous thing, whenever you are creating a package, you need to have a folder with that name. So what I'm trying to do is I'm creating a folder pack1 because it's a package. Then that class file, the class1.class file, has to go to that particular folder. Now I am placing that under the folder. Now let us try to. Now it compiles fine. So whenever you are using a package, make sure that respective file goes to the folder. Now I am going to compile the main file. Before you do that, the class 2 also got compiled. I will place that also under the package 1. Now what I am going to do is I come back to the main file Java 14. In this one, since C1, the class 1 is placed on pack1, I put pack1 dot class 1, because unless you qualify that with the package name, it is not going to work. Pack1 dot class 2, pack1 dot class 2. Now let us try to compile this Java 14, because this uses two classes. C1 is in a class 1 is a separate file under package 1. Class 2 is a separate class extending class 1. So this is also compiled, this is also compiled. Class 1 and class 2 are compiled. Now Java 14 uses these two classes, so I qualified them with the package name. Let us compile that. Now Java 14.java, let us see what happens. Now it says, previously when class 1 and class 2 were part of the same file, it did not give error for the protected variable, because as long as they are in the same package, you don't have an issue for protected variables. Protected variables also almost act like a public variable. It is available within the package, but outside variables classes cannot access. Now I separated class 1 and class 2 to a package called pack1, whereas Java 14 class does not belong to pack1 package. So since this Java 14 is treated as a different package, and this class 1 and class 2 belong to this pack1 package, he is saying the protected variables cannot go across the packages. So they can be accessed by the child class, but it cannot go across the. Now let me do one thing. Since it is protected, I comment these two. Okay. So I am trying to comment these two. Now let me execute this. It compiles fine, not an issue. And when I execute this Java C, Java 14, it says class names Java 14 are only accepted if annotation processing is explicitly requested. So it is giving me an error when I try to execute this Java 14. Let us try why it is happening. Okay, so I made a simple mistake over here, a typo. Instead of typing Java, I typed Java C. So I have to say Java 14. So it's a small typo error. Now he is able to access the public variables or the public attributes. So net, this is the meaning. Public means access in the base class, you have access in the subclass, you can have access in any class, you can have access in any package. Not a problem. Private means access in the class only. No child class can access, no other package can access, no other class can access. Protected means access within the class, access within the subclass is allowed. If they belong to the same package, it is allowed, but no outside the class. If you see here, the difference between private and protected, the similarity first you will see. The similarity across public, private, protected is access in the same class. So anything can be accessed within the same class. That's simple. The difference between public and private is subclass can be accessing, all other classes can access, whereas nothing else can access the private things. Protected means the difference between private and protected. The protected can be accessed in subclass. The protected can be accessed within the same default package. The similarity between private and protected is no other class can use this. The major difference comes the default package as well as the child class when it comes to private and protected. So public is wide open to all. Private is too narrow, it can be accessed only within that class. So it is the ultimate safeguard for the attributes. Protected means base class and the derived class and the classes within the default package. So this is the basic things on the attributes. The modifiers like public, private and protected, they are exactly the same for methods also. We have now shown the example for attributes. The moment you have, rather than private, the methods are like public, static, something like that. Instead, if you say private, a method, and protected a method, the access modifiers show the same behavior for methods also. This public private protected is highly useful when you are trying to hide information from class to class, from class to children, from class to when I say children, it is a child class, from class to other packages, from class to other external classes. We end this session here. Thank you.